What happens when you let two country boys into a radio station and give them their own show? You're about to find out.
Hold on to your butts.
This is the DMac and Zac Show.
Hello. Welcome to another Monday edition of the DMac and Zac Show. How goes it, Joe?
It goes fantastic.
What about you, Zach Defer?
It's about the same.
Yeah, why not? Did you have I saw you put up on Facebook where you had your Pappy Day dinner last night.
Yeah, I like to celebrate every year not being a father. Treating myself to a steak and a beer.
That's right. I ain't your illegitimate daddy yet.
That kid don't look like me.
Nothing to prove it. Well, I hope she looks like her or he looks like her.
Kid's not an athlete. It's not me.
I mean, look at it. Just lays there on his back and just runs his arms around his poop hole all day long.
Terrible athletic tendencies.
That kid does not have a beard. It can't be Zach's.
Can't be Zach's.
Not.
He pops right out looking like Harry and the Hendersons. There's a little throwback for you. Anyway, so today we got your 5 random facts for Monday. Of course, we always start out with your 5 random facts because, well, we got ADHD. We're rather random, and that's what we do here. Number 1, random fact. People eat 46% more candy when it's in a glass jar that they can see through.
Well, that makes sense.
I'd say.
If you can see it, you're going to eat it, you know?
Well, that, and you can sort of, I'm telling you, if there's a jar full of candy or a jar, period, I'm not sticking my hand down in a dark hole.
Remember those tins of cookies when you were a kid? You'd find it at your grandma's, and then you'd open up, cookies, and there's like sewing needles. And
it's, and then, well, even when you did find the cookies are horrible.
Yeah, they're really not good.
Yeah, it was like those kind of cookies that are like in like the, I don't know, they're like surrounded by paper and they're all dry and tasteless.
Exactly. They call them shortbread cookies. If I ever met a tall bread cookie, I might be a little frightened.
You're not be able to fit it in your mouth, you know?
Well, that's what she said. Number 2, even though Americans are the only ones who use the term soccer instead of football, it's not actually an American word. It's originated in England.
America.
Speaking of other things that are originating over in Europe, have you seen the new craze in Speedo-like swimming equipment?
Unfortunately, I have.
No.
Oh, it's horrible. Go to our Facebook page, DMac and Zac Show, and
I'm not putting it on there. You can.
You'll just have to try. Joe will put it up. Joe don't care. He ain't scared.
I'm just worried about what people will say when they see it, because this is
Joe, just go to the website
strange.
you ordered from and post a picture.
Like what these suits look like, they're just like slings that go over one leg.
The old bag.
Yeah, literally. The old bag. It looks like you could take it off and literally walk out into the fields of Israel and kill Goliath with them. I ain't even kidding. You're sitting out there with your sling and your rocks, and you're good to go.
I would just go like no sling at all.
Hey, I'm telling you, it brings in a whole new thought process to chunking balls, all I got to say. Number 3, Rachel McAdams, Fred Durst, Sharon Stone, Jay Leno, Seal, and Pink all worked at the Mickey D's growing up.
Now we know where Seal got that scar from.
Hot grease. 4, horses can't breathe through their mouth, only through their nose.
Dumb horses.
Stupid horses. Number 5, Rhode Island. What?
I was just saying, you remember that horse could talk?
Yeah.
But how did he talk?
They put peanut butter in his mouth.
But, like, you can't talk and not breathe through your mouth. I
mean, I guess that's breathing out through your mouth. So, like, can they breathe out through their mouth, or can they only...
Well, I know they can breathe out through their mouth, because whenever you walk over near a horse or something like that, it does that little snort, it goes,
and
then
make
lips
sounds.
go...
Maybe that's like a fart. That's a horse fart.
Like a hippopotamus farting out its mouth?
Yeah.
Maybe that noise is coming out through their nose somehow.
I don't know. We're going to check this out.
We got to do some research on this.
Some equine myth busting is up next.
Any one of my equine friends, email us in.
There you go.
Yeah. Send a tweet at DMac and Zac if you know how horses make noise.
Exactly. Well, besides out of their nether, and we all know where that is. Rhode Island is the smallest state, but it technically has the longest name. Its official name is State of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations. And if you've ever been to Rhode Island, it's nothing but a rocky hole.
I wonder if you can drive through Rhode Island without saying that whole, like, if you could make it the whole way.
Yeah.
And say the entire name of the state.
While you're going through it?
while you're going through it.
Well, I'm sure you could if you're in a fast enough car, because that place is small.
yeah.
And as long as you don't hit some geriatrics walking out of the local Dunkin' Donuts, you ought to be all right.
You think they got Dunkin'
it's-
Donuts up there?
Yeah.
Man, that's all they got up there. I'm one crossroads, right? I'll drive up to it, and I'm sitting there at the crossroads in Rhode Island. My brother was playing baseball up there, so, we were heading to the school to watch, but we figured we'd go by the Dunkin' Donuts and check it out, maybe get some donuts and coffee or whatever they pass for donuts at that place. Stupid cake donuts. Anyway, so we pull up to this crossroads, right, and we look, and there's two signs, one on each side of the road. One says Dunkin' Donuts to the left, one says Dunkin' Donuts to the right, and we checked it out. There was Dunkin' Donuts both ways, exactly the same distance from that crossroads.
It's a Starbucks of Rhode Island.
Yeah.
That's all they got. Dunkin' Donuts. It's horrible. So anyway, we'd like to pay a little homage to Casey Kasem, a radio great that, everybody grew up listening to. It didn't matter whether you actually listened to the Top 40 or not. You knew who Casey Kasem was. He passed away early yesterday morning at the age of 82. He'd been hospitalized in Washington State for the past 2 weeks and had been in failing health for about a year. Now, according to his family, Casey died from sepsis brought on by an ulcerated bed sore. Now, a couple weeks ago, we had the story on where his daughters were searching for him because his mom kept getting mad, or their mom, his wife kept getting mad, just moving him places. So there was a statewide search for Casey Kasem. They finally found him, but the whole thing was the daughters were saying that he had bed sores and all this other stuff. So it turns out that, the wife, as usual, killed Casey Kasem.
I would with all the moving around of him, how bad were those bed sores?
Well, they had to be pretty bad. They probably left him in the same bed, is what I'm figuring, and just moved him in the bed.
Roll him over?
Well, I don't know. They probably should have, but evidently all that the mom wanted to do was throw meat at her children and say that you'll be eaten by dogs when you die because you've got no, what was it? You've got no respect for your elders or your parents.
So Casey Kasem's wife is a member of the Westboro Baptist?
Pretty much. I mean, she was out there chunking seriously rotten hamburger meat at her offspring, telling them that they would be eaten by dogs when they died because of the way they were treating her.
I guess if you had to be eaten by any animal when you die, a dog would. It'd be one of the better ways to go.
Well, it'd be better than a cat because a cat will just lick your skin off.
Cat will just that'll be the longest thing.
Would it be the longest?
Exactly. I can only talk for myself.
That's right, and why not? We'll be back right here in a minute with 5 revelations from Jay Leno's producer, talking about drunk, obnoxious, and demanding Tonight Show guests. Then, a little later, we might just get into what an athlete likes to stomach right before he competes. Those might be a little, uproarious and whatnot. And then a little later, a guy is suing a hospital for accidentally shortening his, nether but we'll get to that in a second. This is DMac and Zac.
This is the DMac and Zac Show.